Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Storm, and today I wanted to try something a bit interesting with OpenAI with the ChatGPT. I'm rewriting some curriculum for a couple of my courses, and I figured I would give AI a shot at building scope and sequence and lesson plans for a course that I want to write. So let's get into it. Let's see if this actually kind of works. I'm gonna ask it. Let's see. Create a scope and sequence for a, let's say, 15-week game development course in Godot, which is the development engine that we use. Let's specify 2D for high school students. Okay, let's see kind of how this matches up with what I already have planned for this course. I'm curious. So potential scope and sequence for a 15-week 2D game development course in Godot. So week 1, introduction to game development and Godot. Yep, sounds good. Game design and planning. Game design principles and the importance of planning, brainstorming and prototyping game ideas, creating a game design document. That's exactly what I have as week 2. Then we get into actually using Godot to create a game scene, importing and manipulating 2D graphics and sprites, basic game logic and scripting, player controls and movement, non-player characters and AI, animation and cutscenes. I haven't even really thought about teaching that. Designing and creating user interfaces, implementing main menus, adding sound effects and music. Okay. Particle effects, that'd be cool. Basic physics. So gameplay mechanics such as platforms and puzzles, saving and loading game progress, testing and debugging, optimization and performance, publishing and distribution, and then final project presentations. This is actually a really good scope and sequence for this course. Okay, well, let's see what it does. Let's give it a create a lesson plan for week 1. Now notice all I did was I asked for a lesson plan for week 1. It already understood in the context of this chat thread that I was referring to the week 1 that it gave me. All right, so lesson objective: introduce students to game development concepts and game development process. Introduce students to the Godot game engine and its interface. So we need computers with Godot installed for each student. Presentation slides or handouts introducing game development concepts and the Godot interface. I'm going to see if it can actually create that, but let's keep looking. All right, warm up. Begin the lesson by asking students if they played any video games, and if so, which ones are their favorites. That is exactly how I start. This is kind of scary, actually. That's exactly how I start. Write ideas. Oh, ask students what they think goes into making a video game. Yeah, 100%. I do that as well. Write their ideas on the board and then introduce the concept of game development as a process of creating a video game. Then we go into direct instruction using the presentation slides or handouts. Oh, man. Explain the importance of planning and collaboration. Introduce students to Godot. Oh, my gosh. Show students how to create a new project and navigate the interface, including the scene tree, inspector, and editor viewports. This is crazy. Godot is not a super popular game development engine. It's an open source. Wow, and it understands critical information about Godot, like the scene tree. Of course, that's the first thing we want to talk about, but like, okay, guided practice: have students create a new project in Godot and explore the interface on their own. This Guided practice. Encourage them to experiment with adding and manipulating nodes in the scene tree and modifying properties in the inspector. This is exactly what, you guys, this is exactly what I do. Independent practice. Assign students a short exercise to complete on their own, such as creating a simple game scene with a character sprite and some platforms. Encourage them to use the documentation and tutorials provided with Godot to help them complete the exercise. Oh my gosh, and it even has the closure. It has like a bell or an exit ticket. Remind them to complete the independent practice assignment before the next class. It gives them homework. Evaluation. So observe students during the guided practice and independent practice activities to assess their understanding and progress. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can create this lesson. Oh yeah, right here. Presentation slides or handouts. Presentation slides or handouts introducing game development. Okay, let's see what it does. It's slide by slide. Here's a potential presentation slides or handouts introducing game development concepts. I mean, it's really just, it's pretty simplistic, right? So it's just giving me the title of the slide, brief overview. So it's telling me that I have to write a brief, like I could even do this, right? Watch. Oh, I've got to wait till it's done creating the entire presentation outline. Like, I haven't had to do anything creative yet. It's given me everything so far. This is crazy. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, hello. Let's do, let's see, write a brief overview of what, okay. Game development is the process of creating a video game. It involves a variety of tasks and roles, including game design, programming, art, and asset creation, testing, and bugging. I mean, this is, I wouldn't put all of this on a slide, but this could easily be, I mean, look at that. Game development is a process of creating a video game. Programming is art and asset creation involves creating the graphics, sprites, and sound effects and music. Now, let's say this is just too complicated for my students, or I want to, make it a little bit more student friendly. Write that for an 8th grade audience. I mean, look at this. It's rewriting it. So game development is a process of making a video game. That is the same line. That's the same first line. It involves a variety of tasks and roles. But here it says it involves several different parts, like coming up with ideas for a game, creating the characters and levels, and making sure everything works together smoothly. It's rewriting this paragraph or this text for the audience that I'm trying to target. Now, I'm trying to target 9th graders, but this is insane. I could have this thing build my entire slide deck. I can just go slide by slide, have it generate. Like that's my slide 2 for an 8th grade audience. So this is kind of, game design is important because it determines what a game will be like and how fun it will be to play. A good game design makes sure that the game is enjoyable and keeps players coming back for more. This is amazing. Okay, let's try something else. Like, so that just created, and all I have to do really is just give it more prompts and then copy and paste, put them in a Google slide or something. And that's my entire lesson. And I have my lesson plan here, step by step, telling me exactly what to do for that day. Let's try, this. It's something a little bit more complex. Menus and user interface. That's pretty complex and specific to the game development engine. Create a tutorial teaching me how to design and create user interfaces in Godot. Oh. And implement main menus and in-game menu. All right, let's. I spelled create wrong. Oh my gosh. What? Dude. It's giving me step-by-step instructions. Create a new project in Godot and create a new scene. To create a UI element, go to the 2D Scenes tab in the Scene dock and drag desired UI element into the scene. Some common UI elements include texture buttons, texture all of this is correct. Select it in the scene tree and use the inspector to modify its properties. For example, this is, and it's giving me code. Are you kidding me right now? This is a lesson that would literally take me probably a couple of hours to write, just because I'd have to go through each step and then figure out how to write it properly for that audience and make it clear so that they can understand it and follow the instructions. But in minutes, it's generated that I can literally just copy and paste this into. This is insane. Generate a script for a video teaching the above tutorial. Oh my God. Welcome to this tutorial on how to design and create user interfaces in Godot and implement main menus and in-game menus. First, let's start by creating a new project in Godot and creating a new scene for our UI. To create a UI element, we can go to the 2D Scenes tab in the Scene dock and drag the desired UI element in the scene. It's giving me, like, so it's basically the same thing here, but it's giving it to me in a script format with more like, oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. All right. This is kind of mind-blowing, actually. I'm a bit kind of, I don't know. Let's try something a little bit more abstract. Something that, I would need for a 2D development course. Teach me how to create 2D art for a video game. Oh my gosh. This is all exactly correct. Yes. Sketch it out on paper. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's more of like just an overall like basic step by step. It's given me good information. This could be a really good like introduction to this topic, but let's make it more specific. Create a tutorial on how to create 2D sprite sheets in Photoshop for a 16-bit video game. Let's say character sprite sheets. And I put the space in the wrong spot. All right. There it is. Let's see. Make sure it's large enough. It's a good idea to create a sprite sheet at a higher resolution than you'll use in the final game so you can scale down later if needed. That is that's so smart. A new layer. Draw your character sprites. A variety of tools. Animation frames. I mean, this is pretty basic stuff. Give me a detailed step-by-step tutorial on the topic above. There we go. That's more specific. Look at this. It's telling me exactly how to do everything. How do you create a new... It's giving me 32 by 30. This is crazy because I just ask for it and it gives it to me. You guys, I'm telling you, this is mind blowing. Like, I've done more lesson prep in the last couple of minutes. I mean, this video is what, 17 minutes long so far? I've done more lesson prep in the last 17 minutes. This is insane. I have no idea if this is amazing or scary or a bit of both. Everything that I'm seeing here kind of makes sense and it's working the way it should. And if it's not exactly working the way I want it to, I can just reformat the query and then it gives me something more specific. Write a funny opening to my class on the first day of school. This should be targeted to a high school audience. Make sure to include a set of classroom rules. I'm just playing around with it at this point. I want to see what it comes up with. Oh my gosh. Good morning, students. Welcome to the first day of the most epic high school journey you'll ever embark on. My name is Mr. Insert Name, and I'll be your guide on this wild ride we call education. But before we dive into the deep end of algebra and literature, that's weird. I would love to take an algebra and literature class. Let's go over a few ground rules to ensure smooth sailing semester. Rule number 1, no unicorns allowed in the classroom. I know they're majestic creatures, but they tend to distract from the lesson at hand. Rule 2, no time travel allowed. I know it's tempting to skip ahead to the weekend, but trust me, you'll want to experience every moment of this amazing class. Rule 3, respect your fellow classmates. We're all in this together, and a little kindness goes a long way. Rule number 4, always bring your sense of humor. Learning can be serious business, but that's important not to take yourselves too seriously. Even like the creative parts. Oh my gosh. Write a joke about game development. Oh my gosh. It even writes dad jokes. Computer programming. Oh no, because it left its windows open. You guys, okay, that's it. I'm done. This is insane. We're all being replaced by Skynet at this point. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna play around with this some more and see what else I can come up with. I will see you guys next time. All right. Peace.